Shalom, shalom. Once again, this brother Balm Malak out of Great Millstone Camp, Austin, coming at you with a quick lesson. And this lesson really is going to come out of the book of Second Esdras, chapter 6. And I think we're going to start at verse 54 or 57. You know, proven once again that the Lord Yahweh Bashim Hawashi's chosen people are you Negro, Latinos, and Native Americans. That the Lord Yahweh chose Israel as his nation of people that he hold near and dear to him. So before I get started, I want to give all honor, all glory, all praise to the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Rakah HaKodash. I want to give double honors to my apostles, my bishops, my elders of Great Millstone. I want to give double honors to the high priest elders that taught those men. Salutations to you brothers that are presenting your bodies as a living sacrifice, pushing the gospel of the Lord Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah through the four corners of the earth. And to you believers, to you I say Shalom. And again, this brother Balm Malak out of Great Millstone Camp, Austin, coming at you with a quick lesson. In this lesson, I'm going to be going between the GNTD, the Good News Translation, and the KJV. And we'll be using the Blue Letter Bible, for going into looking up words. So without further ado, let's just jump right into it. And this is Genesis chapter 2 and verse 18. Then the Lord Yahweh, the power, said, "It is not good for man to live alone. I will make a suitable companion to help him." Verse 19. So he took some soil from the ground and formed all the animals and all the birds. Then he brought them to the man to see what he would name them. And that is how they all got their names. So Adam and man just means Adam. Let's go to it. Matter of fact, let's just go look up the word man. Let's go to man. We're going to be looking this up in the KJV side. Let's go to Genesis 2 and 18. I'll look up this word man.
Strong's H 120. Adam. Adam.
Adam. Adam. You go down to the outline of biblical use. It says what? Mankind. Man, mankind. Man, human being. Man, mankind. Much more. And then it just says Adam, the first man. So Adam was the first man. So now we can go right into the. Now let's go. Let's go to the book of Second Esdras. Salakia. Let's go to Second Esdras, the 6th chapter. And this is in the Good News Translation. Second Esdras chapter 6 and verse 54. I think we're going to start at verse 54. The book of Second Esdras chapter 6 and verse 54. And it reads, "More important than all of these, you created Adam." We just went into Adam was the first man, Adam, and put him in charge of everything that you had made. And all of us, the people whom you have chosen, are descendants from him. So that's also some people who the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai have chosen from Adam. And as a matter of fact, let's go to Genesis the 17th chapter. And we're gonna get this in the KJV. Let's go to the KJV. What they're talking about, this chapter is not available on this version. Let's go to Salakia. Nobody but the damn devil, man. Let's go to KJV. How can Genesis not be? Let's go to Genesis, the 17th chapter. It's in the KJV, Genesis 17, and we'll start at verse 18. Nope, we're going to go right to the point, verse 19. Let's go to Genesis chapter 17 and verse 19. And it reads, And power Yahweh said, Sarah thy wife shall bear thee a son indeed, and thou shalt call his name Isaac. And Isaac had two sons. He had Jacob and Esau. And I will establish my covenant with him for an everlasting covenant, and with his seed after him. So he had what? Two sons. Isaac had two sons. He had Jacob. We're going to say it in order. He had Esau and Jacob. He had Esau and Jacob. And Esau is the what? He's the progenitor of the Edomite nation, Esau, the Idumeans. And Jacob is the progenitor of what? The 12 tribes of the children of Israel. Jacob's name was changed to Israel, Yasharallah, he prince of the power. So he established his seed with Isaac and the seed after him. And Abraham, he had what? Ishmael as well. It said, as for Ishmael, I have heard thee. Behold, I have blessed him and will make him fruitful. That's why the Arabs, they got all that money. They got 12 princes. It said, and I will multiply him exceedingly. 12 princes shall beget. He beget, and I will make him a great nation. And they have been a great nation. But my covenant will I establish with Isaac, which Sarah shall bear unto thee at this set time in the next year. See, so their covenant was always with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Matter of fact, we're gonna prove that. Let's go to Exodus. Let's go to Exodus. We're gonna stay in let's go to Exodus, the 3rd chapter. Let's go to verse 6. This is Exodus chapter 3 and verse 6. And it reads, moreover, he said, I am the God of thy father, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, the God of Jacob. And Moses hid his face, for he was afraid to look upon Yahweh. So this is Yahweh telling him that he's the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob. See, because he gave Esau was that spirit that came into Esau was the spirit of Cain. And Cain was the first murderer, the criminal. And Esau, what? He didn't see no need for the birthright, because he was too fucking hungry. He had he couldn't wait to eat. So he sold his birthright. And then he sold his birthright, but it was already planned that Jacob would receive that inheritance. The birthright usually go to the firstborn. But the Lord Yahweh Bashem already had decided, in his movie that Jacob, would be what? He would be over Esau. So again, the book of Exodus, chapter 3 and verse 6. Moreover, he said, I am the God of thy father, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, the God of Jacob. See? So the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, he's not the God of everybody. He's the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, the God of Jacob, man. So when we go back, let's go back to the Good News Translation. Let's go back to the second Esdras. It's I don't know why I keep going through that thing right there like that. Second Esdras, the 6th chapter. So now we can move forward. And Salakia for that. I don't have this on my laptop. Or my laptop ain't working right now. The book of Second Ezra, chapter 6, and we'll start back at verse 54. More important than all these, you created Adam. You put him in charge of everything that you had made, and all of us, the people you have chosen. And the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, are descendants from him. He chose Abraham, he chose Isaac, and he chose Jacob. And Jacob's name was changed to Israel. It was Yasharallah, he prince of the power. He has power with the prince. And Jacob is the progenitor of the 12 tribes of the children of Israel. We do that. Went over that so many times. Verse 55, it said, O Lord, I have told you all this because you said you created this first world for the sake of your people. And the first world, the sake of his people, would be you Israelites. Let's go to First Chronicles. Let's go to First Chronicles. We're gonna go to this in there. Let's go to First Chronicles, the 17th chapter. Let's see how I read in the GNTD. First Chronicles 17 and verse 21. They ain't even got First Chronicles 17:21 in the GNTD. Let's go to the KJV. First Chronicles 17 and 21. See, that's Esau. I'm at Second Chronicles number 1. Why is it showing 2? Oh, that's Corinthians, man. First Chronicles, man, tripping. First Chronicles 17, tripping. First Chronicles 17 and verse 21. And it reads, let's go, verse 21. It says, and what one nation in the earth is like thy people Israel, whom power Yahweh went to redeem to be his own people, to make thee a name of greatness and terribleness by driving out nations from before thy people, whom thou hast redeemed out of Israel. Verse 22, for thy people Israel didst thou make thine own people forever? Let's read that again. For thy people Israel didst thou make thine own people forever? And thou, Lord Yahweh, became their power. Therefore now, Lord Yahweh, let the thing that thou hast spoken concerning thy servant and concerning his house be established forever, as thou hast said. Let it even be established that thy name may be magnified forever, saying, the Lord Yahweh of hosts is the God of Israel, even a power to Israel, and let the house of David, thy servant, be established before thee. See, the Lord Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua, Israel has always been his portion. Israel has always been a portion for the Most High Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. So you don't even have to, well, you Negro Latinos and Native Americans are always trying to give up y'all inheritance right, as the chosen people of the Most High Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua to Esau, Edom, and the other heathen nations. Y'all can't change what the Lord Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua has already established on the earth and in his word. So let's go back. Let's go back to the GNTD. Let's go back to Second Esdras. Let's go back to Second Esdras, the 6th chapter. And let's lock you for, got to scroll up and down. Verse 55 again. It said, O Lord, I have told you this because you said you created this first world for the sake of your people. And we just proved that Israel is the Lord Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua's chosen people. We proved that what? The Lord Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua is the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob. Those are his people. Verse 55, O Lord, once again, O Lord Yahweh, I have told you all this because you said you created this first world for the sake of your people. Verse 56, you said that in spite of their great numbers, all the other nations which descended from Adam are nothing. And again, we just read in Second Chronicles, he said that matter of fact, let's go back to Second Chronicles, because there's a lot we left. It said, from Adam are nothing, worth no more than a drop of water, no more than spit. The other nations, the Edomite nations, the other heathen nations, there ain't nothing. Just like you walking down the street and you spit. You got a hawker in your throat. You want to get rid of it. That's how the Lord Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua look at the other nations. Just spittle, man. Let's go back to, matter of fact, let's go back to First Chronicles. Let's go back to First Chronicles, the 17th chapter. This time, we can get it in the GNTD. Let's read it in GNTD, and we start at verse 21. It says, there is no other nation on earth like Israel, whom you rescued from slavery to make them your own people. I mean, I don't know how you Negro, Latinos, and Native Americans can make the other nations the chosen people of the Most High Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua, because he sent it out of his own mouth. It said, there is no other nation on earth like Israel, whom you rescued from slavery to make them your own people. And he's going to rescue us from slavery again, because we're still in captivity here in America, Babylon the Great. It said, the great and wonderful things you did for them spared your fame throughout the world. You rescued your people from Egypt. And we're in what? This is modern Egypt again. This is the what? This is the revision of ancient Egypt, because we was in captivity here. It said, and drove out the nations as your people advanced. And we're advancing. We're getting ready to advance, man. We're getting ready to come back into what? Being gods of the earth. The book of Psalms chapter 82 and verse 6, it is said, ye are gods, roughly paraphrasing. Verse 22, you have made Israel your own people forever, and you, Lord Yahweh, have become their power. See, forever. We are the Most High Yahweh Bashem Yahweh's chosen people. So there is no fucking replacement theology. There's no supersessionism. None of that. The Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahweh said in the book of what? Malachi 3 and 6. He said, I am the Lord God. I change not. Therefore, you sons of Jacob are not consumed, man. So we, roughly paraphrasing it, man. So we always going to be the Most High Yahweh Bashem Yahweh's chosen people. Again, you have made Israel your own people forever, and you, Lord Yahweh, have become their power. Verse 23. And now, O Lord Yahweh, fulfill for all the time the promise you made about me and my descendants, and do what you said you would. Your fame will be great. The people will forever say, the Lord Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua Almighty is power over Israel. And you will preserve my dynasty for all time. I have the courage to pray this prayer to you, my power, because you have revealed all this to me, your servant, and have told me that you will make my descendants king. And this is King David. Speaking of King David, and King David, what he had, what Solomon. And when we tell y'all that Solomon in the reincarnation is our Lord and Savior Hamashiach Yahushua, who the word ignorantly calls JC. So verse 26, it says, you, Lord Yahweh, are power. You have made this wonderful promise to me. So he made a promise to David that his son would sit on the throne. So there ain't nothing, we can't change, what the Lord Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua. Much as y'all, we know 2/3 of you Negro, Latinos, and Native Americans got that Stockholm syndrome, but y'all can't change these scriptures. It ain't nowhere in hell we're gonna allow y'all. It ain't nothing that we can allow. The Lord Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua is not gonna allow, the other nations to be magnified over Israel. Yasharallah. Let's read verse 56 again. You said that in spite of their great numbers, all other nations which descended from Adam are nothing, worth no more than a drop of water, no more than spittle. Verse 57, but now, Lord Yahweh, those nations that are considered as nothing are ruling over us and destroying us. And the main nation that ruling over us is Esau Edom, and he's destroying us. Esau Edom, he got you niggas out here in these streets, man, all bugged out. He got y'all with your pants down. He got our women acting like whores. They got our sons acting like sodomites. He got you killing up and down the streets. And we know the curses are on us. The curses are on him. But Esau Edom, he don't fed it to the fullest. Because he could have easily came back and said that you are Negro, Latinos, and Native Americans are the chosen people of the Most High Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. Hell, they even got the little, slack for that. Yeah, and they even got, again, the main nation that destroying us is Esau Edom. And the so-called self-professed white man, woman, and child, on the planet Earth. Because what we're here in captivity in Babylon the Great. And Esau will be in rulership in the last days. Because in the same chapter, it tells you that Esau is the end of the world and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. So when we read verse 57 again, it says, now, Lord Yahweh, those nations that are considered as nothing are ruling over us and destroying us. And Esau Edom, the nation that's destroying us, man. Because they could have easily just said, after the Civil War, after 1865, emancipated, they could have easily said that, hey, man, y'all are the biblical Israelites. Once we were set free out of the physical bondage, chattel slavery, because we was just transferred to the state. And then Esau Edom, what he did, he opened up, he got the slave patrol, which is now your modern day police department. And they still patrol you Negro, Latinos, and Native Americans harshly, and put you into these jail systems where you can be free labor. So when you pay someone 5 or 10 cents a day, that's free labor for these corporations. So again, they destroying us. They put drugs in our communities. They put guns in our community. They put the worst foods in our community. They put the worst school system in our community. So they always going to continue to destroy us. They put, chemicals. They try to poison you every way they can. So Esau, he's always destroyed us, mentally and physically. Esau has destroyed 2/3 of you Negro, Latinos, and Native Americans. They give y'all the worst they gave y'all black culture. Black culture is the worst fucking culture ever created on the planet Earth, man. They worse than the KKK, man. Black culture is. Because that don't kill more people than the KKK ever killed. Because you niggas, y'all, that black culture, that music that's associated with black culture, music don't told our women that they can be what, men. Don't told a man that he can be a damn criminal, a thug. So, Esau Edom, he done all this to the minds of you Negro, Latinos, and Native Americans, specifically 2/3 of you Negro, Latinos, and Native Americans. So they always destroyed us. And again, yeah, even that Eve, which is on X, and she said she was reading, an excerpt from Hitler when he said when the Negroes realized that they are the chosen, that they are the children of Israel, and she reading, but our elders been saying this since what, 1969, 1970. Been saying, preaching this same word that we're the children, that you Negro, Latinos, and Native Americans are the biblical Israelites. And again, there's no supersessionism. We don't prove, I don't read scriptures prove that the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, he's the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob. And right here it just said that, we read verse 56 again, it said, you said that in spite of their great numbers, all the other nations which descended from Adam are nothing. Because from Adam come we all, right? And the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, he made a difference. He went specifically and said, I'm the God of a God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, the God of Jacob. He said, from Adam are nothing, worth no more than a drop of water, no more than spit. So the other nations, Edomites, the Moabites, the Chinese, the Ammonites, the Japanese, the Ishmaelites, the Arabs, the Persians, the Iranians, they are nothing but spit in the eyes of the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. And we know that these things are on us because of the curses. The Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, because we failed to keep the covenant. So the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushua in the book of Deuteronomy 28, 15, down to Deuteronomy 28, 68, we failed to keep the curses. So this why all this hell has befallen on the Negro, Latino, and Native Americans. Matter of fact, let's go to Exodus. Let's go to the book of Exodus. And this is in alphabetical order. Let's go to Exodus, the 19th chapter. The book of Exodus, chapter 19 and verse 1. And we're going to read down. No, we ain't going to read down. We're going to go right to we'll read verse 1. And then we'll jump to the point. It said, the people of Israel left Rephidim on the first day of the third month after they had left Egypt. They came to the desert of Sinai. Well, I might have to read it. There they set up the camp at the foot of Mount Sinai, and Moses went up to the mountain to meet with Yahweh. And Yahweh called to him from the mountain and told him to say to the Israelites, Jacob's descendants. See, he's the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, the God of Jacob. Jacob, again, name was changed to Israel. Yasharallah, he prince of the power. He has power with the prince. So Jacob is the progenitor of the 12 tribes of the children of Israel. And again, there's no supersessionism. There's no replacement theology. The whole Bible from Genesis all the way to the Maccabees is always talking about you Negro, Latinos, and Native Americans, man. So again, it says, there they set up the camp at the foot of Mount Sinai, and Moses went up to the mountain to meet with Yahweh. And Yahweh called to him from the mountain and told him to say to the Israelites, see, the Israelites, Jacob's descendants, you saw what I, the Lord Yahweh, did to the Egyptians, and how I carried you as an eagle. Eagles carry her young on her wing, and brought you here to me. Now, if you will obey me and keep my covenant, the laws, statutes, and commandments, you will be my own people. The whole earth is mine, but you will be my chosen people, a people dedicated to me alone, and you will serve me as priests. And the book of Hosea said what? 3, so for my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Roughly paraphrasing, saying that our sons and daughters shall be no priest to him, because we destroyed over here in Babylon the Great, man. Matter of fact, let's just get that. No, let me finish reading. The whole earth is mine, but you will be my chosen people, a people dedicated to me alone, and you will serve me as priests. So the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, he made a covenant with you Negro, Latinos, and Native Americans, but we didn't uphold our end of the bargain. We broke the covenant at every turn because we always wanted to be like the other nations. We always wanted to be like gutter rats. We always wanted to be like the wicked, the Edomites, man. We always found a way, to try to diminish, who we were as a nation of people, God shows a people to try to be like the other heathen nations. Low character, low moral, low morals, low morals, like we always try to, just reduce ourselves, man. We found a way, man. That's one thing about you hard head ass niggas, man. We always found a way to, don't have to include ourselves in it, to disappoint the Most High Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah. But good thing he raised back up the elect in these last days to tell you Negro, Latinos, and Native Americans that y'all are the biblical Israelites and that you need to be operating on a higher vibration, man. So what I said we was going to get, man. Sometimes you have to stop speaking and do more reading. And again, so we'll just go back to second Esdras, man. Slack you. Let's go back to second Esdras. Now this thing is in alphabetical order. Let's go back to second Esdras, the sixth chapter, close this out. Second Esdras chapter 6 and verse 58. It says, "We are your people, and you have called us your firstborn, your only child, your witness, your loved one. But we have been handed over to the power of these other nations." Because what? We were scattered. How we broke the covenant. We just read, what is that? Exodus, the 19th chapter. We just read, because we broke the covenant, and pursuant of Deuteronomy 28:64, what we were scattered through the four corners of the earth, the Negro, Latinos, and Native Americans. That's why you might have, like what took place up there in Houston, the so-called Northern Kingdom female talking about she hate niggas. When we were scattered, we lost our identity, man. Pursuant to Jeremiah 17 and verse 4. Matter of fact, let's get that. For our people don't know. They don't know who they are. So that's how everybody always acting a fool, The book of Jeremiah, chapter 17 and verse 4, it says, now let's get that in the KJV, man. Let's get this in the KJV. Let's get this in the KJV. The book of Jeremiah, chapter 17 and verse 4, "And thou, even thyself, shall discontinue from thine." We're going to read this in the KJV like I was trying to get it. The book of Jeremiah, chapter 17 and verse 4, "Because we fell away. We didn't know who we were. We are no people." And pursuing the book of Hosea, the first chapter, we became a no people to the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. So that's why we didn't know that, even now, 2/3 of you Negro, Latinos, and Native Americans don't know that y'all are Israelites. Y'all, if Esau came out and the so-called self-professed white man came out and told y'all were Israelites, y'all would believe him. But because you see the prophets on the highways and the byways, and we telling y'all Israelites, y'all don't believe it. But if Hitler tell you Negro, Latinos, and Native Americans, y'all are biblical Israelites, you niggas will start posting it from here, to infinity. But we're telling you, the men of the Lord, but we forgot our way. The Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai took that understanding away from us. The book of Jeremiah, chapter 17 and verse 4, "And thou, even thyself, shall discontinue from thine heritage that I gave thee, and I will cause thee to serve thine enemies." And we have enemies, Esau, Edom, the so-called self-professed white man, and the other nations, the Chinese, the Japanese, the Ishmaelites, the Arabs, the Persians, the Iranians. They all our enemies. They all our enemies. The Persians, they can't, the Iranians, they did a thing saying, they did the same thing saying that, hey man, if the Negro knew that they was the chosen people, the Most High, y'all would wake up. So everybody know who we are. "And thou, even thyself, shall discontinue from thine heritage that I gave thee, and I will cause thee to serve thine enemies, Esau, Edom, in the land which thou knowest not. For ye have kindled a fire in my anger, which shall burn forever for a long period of time. The anger, the wrath of the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushai burnt for a long period of time. But now the anger is residing. It's starting to cease. And the Lord Yahweh Bashem, how do we know? Because the men of the Lord, the prophets are back on the scene. The prophets are back on the highways and the byways. So his anger is starting to what? To fade away against the Negro, Latinos, and Native American of the elect. But against the 2/3 of you Negro, Latinos, and Native Americans, y'all gonna suffer the same fate as Esau, Edom, when Babylon is destroyed by thermonuclear destruction. So it's nothing Esau did. It was more what we did by breaking the covenants. That's how we was discontinued from our heritage that the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushua gave us. So let's go back, Salakia. Let's go back to the Good News Translation. Go back to second Esdras. Salakia, it's in order. Let's go back to second Esdras, the 6th chapter, verse 57, verse 58. No, we was at verse 58. It said, we are your people, and you have called us your firstborn, your only child, your witness, your loved one, but we have been handed over to the power of these other nations. Verse 59, if this world was really created for the sake of your people, why don't we have a possession of it? How much longer must we wait? How much longer must we wait? And everybody should be sighing and crying. Lord, you said when the prophet's on the scene that, that you would bring Esau, Edom kingdom to an end. The prophets are here, and we read the book of St. Matthew. Let's go to St. Matthew. Let's read it. Let's go to Matthew, the 24th chapter. See how I say in the Good News Translation in verse 13. In the book of St. Matthew, chapter 13, Salakia, St. Matthew 24 and 14, and this gospel and this good news about the kingdom will be preached throughout the world for a witness unto all people, and then shall the end come. And that's why the end is coming. Because what? We're preaching in the names of the Lord Yahweh Shai, man. That's why the end. Come on, let's close this out in the book of Jeremiah. Because the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushua gave Esau Edom an impossible task. That's how we know there's no, again, we have to keep speaking on this. There's no replacement theology or supersessionism. The Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushua gave Esau Edom, the so-called self-professed white man, an impossible task to accomplish. We're going to get this in the KJV. We're going to go to Jeremiah, the 31st chapter. Let's go to the KJV. Let's go to Jeremiah. Let's go to Jeremiah, the 31st chapter. The book of Jeremiah, chapter 31. And Jeremiah 31 and verse 35. Let's read this. And this is the impossible task that the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushua gave Esau Edom. The book of Jeremiah, chapter 31 and verse 35. It said, thus saith the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, which giveth the sun for light by day, and the moon ordinances of the moon and of the stars for light by night. So long as the sun is there by day, and the moon and the stars are ordinances for the night. It said, which divideth the sea when the waves thereof roar. The Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushua host is his name. If those ordinances depart from before me, saith the Lord Yahweh. See, somebody got to make, that's why you had Keel Gates talking about blocking out the sun. See, that's why they always trying to go up into space, man. They always trying to go into the heavens of the heavens. That's why they got these big ass telescopes trying to look into the heavens of the heavens. That's why they got these, they so-called submarines. They always trying to measure the depth of the sea. So the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushua gave them an impossible task, because certain depths in the ocean, that's crushable. That's crushed depth. Even the Navy understand that. That's crushed depth. You can't go to certain amount of feet underneath the earth, man, in the water. So the Lord Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua gave these devils an impossible task. So again, it says, let's start back at verse 35. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh, which giveth the sun for a light by day, and the ordinance of the moon and of the stars for a light by night, which divideth the sea when the waves thereof roar. And another thing, if you go down to, if anyone had the pleasure of going down to the what is that part of Mexico, you can see this Pacific and the Atlantic Ocean. You can see it's a line. It's a line that draws right between the Pacific and the Atlantic Ocean, man. So that the Lord Yahweh Hashem in no ways won't even cross one another. That's the beautiful thing about it. You have to understand, man, that the power of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shah. It says, the Lord of hosts is his name. If those ordinances depart from before me, saith the Lord Yahweh, then the seed of Israel also shall cease from being a nation before me forever. So that's why Esau Edom is constantly trying to go up into space, giving y'all these fake moon landings and giving y'all these fake traveling around the moon. You got to understand, these devils, there's no craftiness to this devil, man. This devil is always trying to accomplish, getting you Negro, Latinos, and Native Americans, man, who are the biblical Israelites, cast off forever. So don't think that they just be trying to go under the seas and go into the heavens, to land on the moon. No, man. They trying to get the Most High Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, to be wrong in his creation, So, but Esau Edom is wrong. It said, the Lord of hosts is his name, Yahweh. If those ordinances depart from before me, saith the Lord Yahweh, then the seed of Israel also shall cease from being a nation before me forever. See? Verse 37. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh, if the heavens above can be measured, and the foundation of the earth searched out beneath, I will also cast off the seed of Israel for all that they have done, saith the Lord Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. See, that's why they trying to go up into the heavens of the heavens, and the depths of the sea can be measured below. Esau, hey man, they not doing that just for for shits and giggles. They trying to cast off you Negro, Latinos, and Native Americans from being the seed of the Most High Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shah forever. The Most High, he created this devil, so he knew what this devil was capable of. He gave him all these old thoughts. The Lord Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shah put those thoughts in his eye, in his head, in his lob, in his heart, so that he can try to achieve these things, these impossible tasks. This nigga talking about Kill Gates was talking about blocking out the sun, man. Joker talking about the moon. I think they at one point. I think somebody, I could be wrong on this, but somebody was talking about blowing up the moon at one time. One of these devils. Y'all gotta understand, man. These devils, boy, they know that we getting ready to come back into the what? Come back into the being the people of the Most High Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shah, man. We're gonna be gods of the earth. That's why we tell y'all we getting immortality. So I pray this lesson been edifying. I want to give all honor, all glory, all praise to the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, Ba'Shem Yahweh Shah, Ba'Shem Rekah HaKodash. Double honors to my apostles, my bishops, my elders of Great Millstone. Double honors to the high priest elders that taught those men. Salutations to you brothers that are present your bodies as a living sacrifice, pushing the gospel of the Lord Yahweh, Ba'Shem Yahweh Shah through the four corners of the earth. Shalom.